Ring ring, it's for the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, a place shrouded in secrecy. It's where spies gather, it's where secrets are kept, or at least that's what they want you to believe. Imagine this. It's October 2015. John Brennan, the then director of the CIA, is at his desk. He's got a lot on his plate: international espionage, covert operations, the works. Suddenly the phone rings.
Hello?
Brennan picks it up, expecting some high-level intel. Maybe it's the president. Maybe it's a foreign leader. But no, it's a kid. And not just any kid. This kid claims to have hacked the CIA. Yes, you heard that right. A child playing with his computer managed to breach the supposedly impenetrable defenses of one of the most powerful intelligence agencies in the world. Not quite. Now you might be thinking, come on, a kid hacking the CIA, that's ridiculous, and you wouldn't be alone. The initial reaction, even within the CIA, was probably a mix of disbelief and amusement.
Yeah, I hacked the CIA.
But the laughter died down pretty quickly when they realized the kid wasn't bluffing. He had the goods. This wasn't some harmless prank, this was a full-blown security breach. The kid, it turned out, had gained access to some sensitive information. We're not talking about nuclear launch codes here, but still, stuff the CIA definitely didn't want out in the open. This incident sent shockwaves through the intelligence community. How could this happen? How could a bunch of teenagers outsmart the CIA's best and brightest? The answer, as they say, is both simpler and more complicated than you might think. So who were these teenage cyber whizzes who managed to pull off the unthinkable? Meet the Masterminds, a group of kids barely old enough to drive, led by a 13-year-old boy. That's right, 13. This wasn't some elaborate operation with years of planning and millions of dollars in funding.
We were just messing around, seeing what we could get away with.
This was just a group of bored kids messing around with their computers, seeing what they could get away with. And you know what? That's what makes this story so incredible. These kids weren't hardened criminals. They weren't foreign agents.
We were just curious about the world and eager to test our limits.
They saw a challenge, a system that everyone said was unbreakable, and they decided to break it. Section 4. How did they do it? The tools of a 13-year-old hacker. So, how did they do it? How does a 13-year-old armed with nothing but a laptop and a mischievous grin hack the CIA? Well, it wasn't some elaborate scheme involving complex algorithms and supercomputers. It was much simpler than that. These kids used a technique called social engineering. In other words, they tricked their way in. They made phone calls pretending to be someone else. They sent phishing emails trying to trick people into giving up their passwords. They exploited human weaknesses, trust, naivety, the willingness to help someone who sounds official. And you know what? It worked. The CIA, for all its sophisticated technology and highly trained agents, fell for the oldest trick in the book. Section 5, the fallout, more embarrassment than espionage. So what happened next? Did the world descend into chaos? Did these kids trigger a global cyber war? No, not quite. The fallout, while significant, was more embarrassing than catastrophic.
The CIA, understandably, went into full damage control mode. We launched an internal investigation trying to figure out how this could have happened and what we could do to prevent it from happening again.
The government, too, took notice. This incident highlighted the growing threat of cyber attacks, even from unlikely sources. It showed that even the most secure systems are vulnerable to human error and manipulation. And it showed that the next generation of hackers wasn't waiting for an invitation. They were already here, and they were coming for our passwords. Section 6. Lessons learned, cybersecurity for the TikTok generation. The story of how a group of kids hacked the CIA is a cautionary tale. It's a reminder that cybersecurity isn't just about firewalls and encryption, it's about people. It's about understanding that the weakest link in any system is often the human element. The CIA, to its credit, learned from this experience. They tightened their security protocols, implemented better training programs, and started taking the threat of social engineering much more seriously. But the bigger lesson here is for all of us. In an increasingly interconnected world, where our lives are more and more intertwined with technology, we need to be vigilant. We need to be aware of the risks. We need to be skeptical of unsolicited emails and phone calls. And we need to teach our kids about online safety, not just how to use the latest app or social media platform. Because the next generation of hackers isn't going anywhere. They're growing up with technology, they're digital natives, and if we're not careful, they're going to own the future. So the next time you get a suspicious email or a weird phone call, think twice before you click that link or give up that password. It might just be a 13-year-old on the other end, waiting to teach you a lesson about cybersecurity. And trust me, you don't want to be on the receiving